Good morning and welcome again to 2025 Coachella Valley Invitational. Our first match of the day between St. Louis City SC and Real Salt Lake will be beginning momentarily on match field 2.
The countdown to a new season is on. Before MLS is back, the league's hottest stars and top teams converge on Indio, California. The 2025 Coachella Valley Invitational gets underway with our first matchup of the day, St. Louis City SC and Real Salt Lake. The whistle sounds, and we are underway from the Coachella Valley between RSL and St. Louis City. A look at how St. Louis City will get things going. Roman Berkey will get the start in goal with St. Louis clad in the white kits, that glancing header on. They'll also trot out Nilsson, Klaus, Betcher, Yarrow, Indiana Vasilev, Akil Watts, Rasmus Ohm, Konrad Valim, who they recently brought in from Slavia Prague on a recent transfer. Vencel and Cam Silly getting the start for St. Louis as RSL in possession of the ball now. They'll work it to the outside. It's Vera, Ojeda, Diogo, Emeka Inelli, Dominic Marchuk, Justin Glad, Lachlan Brook, Bodie Hidalgo, Alexandros Catranis, and Jesus Barea will start up front for fourth-year head coach Pablo Mastroeni. These two teams enter this Coachella Valley tournament. Some similarities in terms of newness as RSL progressing forward now with it. It's Catranis on the outside. Surveying in the middle, finding Jesus Barea. It's laid back off outside, Lachlan Brook. And that rolls across the touchline. It will be a St. Louis City throw. It is Ohm not in the lineup. My apologies. Kyle Hebert, number 22 shirt for St. Louis City SC, the player. Hebert, former Mo State Bear, a similarity with Jesus Barea, who was a recent draft pick for this RSL team. Coaching staff very high on Barea in the preseason. Barea's college coach, Michael Seabolt, caught up with him a few weeks ago, and he had high praise for his striker as well, as this intercepted and worked back to Berkey. Cleared out by St. Louis. Change of possession will occur via the throw-in. Giving right back, tight on that touch line. St. Louis City comes up with the interception, trying to build out from this back now. And quickly they go forward with it. It's Betcher. Tries to give it back up in the middle. Klaus was somewhat in the vicinity. It's cleared out away from danger by Real Salt Lake. St. Louis City will have a quick throw. Let's toss to the end line, and it rolls across for a goal kick. As I was saying earlier, though, these teams do share a bit of similarity in terms of newness. For RSL, obvious questions to be answered after the departure of significant attacking talent. Almost 60% of their goals scored from a season ago gone. This worked up ahead and tripped up by the St. Louis defender and cleared away as it's headed back on by Catranis. Controlled by Diogo Goncalves. Catranis comes up with it, works it back ahead to Diogo. Options here for RSL. Good ball work to the outside. This lifted in the middle and headed away by St. Louis City. Possession lives thanks to Ojeda. Ojeda knifing through defenders, has a shot blocked, and it caroms back to the foot. Quickly back on it now. This left off. Top of the box. Shot goes deflecting wide and out. Now, Mecca Anelli viewed as a front runner for the captain's armband this season. So says his head coach, Pablo Mastroeni. Sees that shot deflected wide. RSL will have the match's first corner. .196 corners for this RSL team a season ago. This in swinging toward that back post, met by the head of the St. Louis defender. St. Louis City trying to clear the lines, and now they do have possession of it. Work back to Berkey, who puts a right foot into that and clears it away from any danger. This takes a bounce toward the head of Klaus. Now Betcher works it to the outside. Here's Hebert. Back to Klaus. Klaus tries to peel this back, and it's cleared away by RSL. It will be a St. Louis City throw deep on this near side as Kyle Hebert, the Canadian national team performer, 2 caps for the Canadian national team recently, will throw it in for St. Louis City. That finds Vasilev. Vasilev elevates, back post, cleared away. A glancing header back on by St. Louis City. Catranis is there for RSL, and the team's trading possession now in the midfield. Vasilev had it for a moment. It was taken away from him, and Josh Yarrow keeps the possession alive for St. Louis City, who are under the direction of first-year head coach Olaf Melberg, hired in November, the club's second ever permanent head coach. Header on. An opportunity here for Betcher and St. Louis City. Worked into the middle. A short clearance from RSL. Now St. Louis keeping the pressure on and sticking the foot in and tripping up the defender was Simon Betcher. It was a Mecca Anelli who went down. Anelli fresh off a positive camp with the United States men's national team. Saw 90 minutes against Costa Rica recently. Anelli, 35 appearances last season in an RSL shirt. Actually logged 90 minutes in one of the 2 meetings between St. Louis City and RSL last year. These teams played to a draw before RSL picked up a 3-1 win at the tail end of March. And Nelly will lay it off to Catranis. Surveying, elevating, back post, headed on goal and over the bar. RSL with arguably the best opportunity that either side has seen at this juncture of the match, as Berkey will have a goal kick for St. Louis City. Anelli back on it. Left that pass a little short. I was looking for Diogo, and instead it was intercepted by St. Louis, as Yarrow and Indiana Vasilev will slow things up. The aforementioned Olaf Melberg, former center back for Ashton Villa, said earlier in the week in his midweek media availability that he's liked the way this team has approached the preseason. Thought they've brought great energy, specifically highlighted the homegrown talent for the St. Louis City team. Melberg says this team's still trying to find a bit more of its identity, though. It's less about shape and more about fluidity is what this coaching staff is looking for, as it's worked up ahead to Betcher. Yarrow now with it, former San Diego Loyal and San Antonio FC performer. Worked back ahead now. It's Vasilev. Indiana Vasilev, fresh off 2 international caps with the U.S. men's national team at the most recent camp under head coach Mauricio Pochettino. A quick throw in for RSL. Quickly worked ahead. Real Salt Lake trying to find some offensive footing, going down to the pitch. Whistle sounds from the officials, and that will be a free kick given to St. Louis City off the RSL foul. Dominic Marchik whistled for the infraction there. Marchik in December earned a call up to the Polish national senior team. Actually scored a goal as it's quickly up ahead comes St. Louis City. Hebert's cross is cut out. Great defending by Vera. Had Hebert right in his hip pocket. And now here comes RSL trying to turn on a counterattack. They'll switch it out wide to Diogo, who lays this off to Catranis. Ojeda. No options going forward. Given up to Justin Glad, a homegrown product for this RSL team. They go ahead to Diogo, who gets it back to Glad. Ojeda surveying. Trying to connect passes together as RSL, unsuccessful there. Foot stuck in on the challenge, and that will win a free kick for Real Salt Lake. An opportunity here off the set piece. It's Diogo over top of it. Diogo lifts it into the penalty area, and St. Louis City got ahead to it first. A short clearance, worked back on, shot on goal, punched away by Berkey. A quick clearance from St. Louis City's defense. RSL still turning the screws here, as Lachlan Brook lays it off to Anelli. Hidalgo now on the outside. looking to play Ojeda through. Back up top, it's Justin Glad. Ojeda now. Tried the give and go, back to Ojeda. Ojeda just a step slow to that ball, and Roman Berkey will pick things up for St. Louis City. And we'll have to build from the back against this press of RSL. Glancing header from Cam Silly, settled by Klaus. This is Vasilev. St. Louis City really feeling the pressure there, looking for the clearance, instead intercepted by the head of Catranis, and RSL back on it now. Glad will give it up to Vera. Vera has a go and sails that one considerably wide. A goal kick coming for St. Louis City. But it has been all RSL in the early goings of this contest, really controlling the pace, the tempo, and the possession. City trying to work it ahead off the goal clearance. Instead, it's out for an RSL throw. The biggest story for this RSL team is obviously the departure of Chicho Arango, who now calls San Jose his home. We will see San Jose later on in this tournament here on day one. But coming into this MLS season, this rapidly approaching MLS season, this is an RSL team very unproven at the nines. They feel like their midfield is the strongest part of this team, and the stats back it up. So many minutes returning. There's a whistle and a foul. A look at this foul again. RSL trying to work it to the outside and just had a beat on the man who had no choice but to take him down. This from a sharp angle right at the end line. This rolled slowly through the middle, easily intercepted by St. Louis City and cleared away. For RSL, though, coming off that 2024 campaign, a club record for single-season points and single-season goals. As mentioned earlier, 60% nearly of those goals gone, a heavy chunk of those coming from a player like Chicho Arango. Also, Kevin Lambert leaves the club on loan. Matt Crooks departs the club as well. This is Anelli now, battling in there with Cam Silly for St. Louis City. And a whistle quickly from our center referee, and a free kick taken equally as quickly by RSL. Tranis had it out wide, left that patch short, enough for Simon Betcher to intercept. And now RSL commits the foul, and it will be a St. Louis free kick to get things back underway. The St. Louis side trying to lock in more of their defensive end of things coming into this MLS season. This is a St. Louis team that did have a bit of a comeback down to earth year after busting onto the scene and winning the Western Conference in year one of the franchise. That through ball takes a deflection and rolls across the end line. And now players will come forward for a St. Louis corner, their first of this match. Akil Watts will trot over to the far flag and take this for St. Louis City, who accumulated 179 corners a season ago. It's Watts. Curls this in. Cleared away, a short clearance by RSL. And now here comes the Claret and Cobalt, at least for a moment, as it's won back by Akil Watts. 17 appearances and a St. Louis City shirt last season for Akil Watts. Lifted to this near touchline. It's Hebert who's in an offside position, and that will wipe out the opportunity for St. Louis City. Anelli. Diogo tries to slip it through. It's worked back to Anelli now. Anelli looking to turn away from pressure. He'll go to the pitch off the foul from Indiana Vasilev. Here's Ojeda now. Ojeda works this up ahead. Rolled through the middle. Diogo shot on goal, and it's stopped by Berkey. Read it all the way. Second save so far for Roman Berkey. Ninth most saves among MLS keepers a season ago for Berkey. Played up ahead for St. Louis. St. Louis City will have the throw on that far touchline. Conrad Valum, who, as mentioned earlier, recently transferring in from Slavia Prague. Valum tosses it in, finds Watts on the throw in. Here's City moving forward. It's Nilsson. Has it tight over in that corner. And Nilsson just runs out of room. It is nudged across the touchline by RSL. St. Louis will have another throw. Valum back to Nilsson, lifts this in the penalty area. But the flag was up. St. Louis offside. In addition to Conrad Valum on that loan from Slavia Prague, St. Louis also bringing in Timo Baumgartel on a free transfer. As RSL trying to build from the back here. Staduhar, recently acquired from Orlando City. A short clearance ahead, but St. Louis with the interception, and now Catranis trying to win it back for RSL. Hebert will throw it in on this near side. Hebert found Klaus for a moment. Klaus had his pocket picked and it's cleared out. Consecutive throws coming for Kyle Hebert. Throw finds Vasilev. Vasilev peels it back, curls it back post, and headed wide. It will be another corner for St. Louis City, their second of this opening half. Watts will trot forward to take it again for St. Louis City. It was all RSL in the early moments of this contest, but these last 2 to 3 minutes, St. Louis has started to find their footing and rewarded with another corner. In-swinging ball from Watts. Lifted high over the bar and into the bleachers behind the net. That will be a goal kick for Mason Staduhar. Back on it is St. Louis. Shot from distance goes high. Impressive effort from Akil Watts. Wins it back for St. Louis City. And a look at it again. Watts, just plenty of space, steps into that one, but places it a little high. It's another goal kick for RSL, and we're back underway. Ball rolls back to Berkey with Berea in the area. Falls to Vasilev. Give and go, back to Vasilev. Here comes St. Louis City progressing forward. Options for João Klaus. Vasilev's shot is blocked. Took a deflection off the center referee. Play will get back underway off the drop ball, and we are back underway. Glad looking for Diogo ahead. Instead, it's intercepted by Vasilev, and St. Louis City will safely steer this back to the feet of Roman Berkey. Former Borussia Dortmund keeper is Roman Berkey, also time with the Swiss national team. Tries to clear it ahead, and instead takes a hop over the head of Kyle Hebert and across the touchline. A quick throw taken by RSL, and it's guided back to Staduhar. Here's Anelli again.
How many times?
Lachlan Brook with a little bit of space. Now steer back to Ojeda. Lifts this one ahead. Brook underneath it. Flanking RSL out wide is Lachlan Brook. In the middle, Diogo got a touch on it and guided that one wide of the far post. A Roman Berkey goal kick, the result of it. Good movement here with the ball for RSL. And that pass on that cross, right on the money onto the feet of Diogo, who was able to slip through the middle, just couldn't place that shot on goal. There's Vasilev now, racing up this near alley. Strong challenge applied by Vera. That will draw a whistle from the official. Simon Betcher, the St. Louis City player, impeded. As Vasilev will have this free kick for City SC. A step or two inside this near touchline. And now instead Watts will take it. Watts surveys his options. Instead opts to play it out wide to Yarrow and get play back underway. St. Louis cycling this ball around over to the far touchline. Had Valum, who couldn't control it, and it will be a change of possession occurring via the throw in, as RSL will have a throw. One back by St. Louis City. Watts with it again. Work back to Yarrow. And now over to Hebert. Nothing going down this near side at the moment for St. Louis. They'll cycle it back around to the far side. Here's Vollum. Looking for Cam Silly. Had it taken away. RSL slows things up. It's Glad directing traffic from the back line here. 28 appearances a season ago. Now moves it forward. Looking for Anelli in the middle. Anelli goes down. Was looking for a whistle, won't get it. St. Louis City trying to turn on a counter here. Ojeda now with space will carry it forward. Former Paraguay national team performer. There's Ojeda, and we have a whistle and a stoppage. Ojeda gives it up to Glad. Here's Anelli. Gets it back from Diogo. Looking for the give and go once again, and instead Roman Berkey will come off his line and pick that loose ball up. RSL's had some good looks early, 2 very decent chances. But other than that, they get to that approach to the final third and have yet to string something consistent together. But here they come again on a counterattack. Tried to leave it off for Ojeda, and instead it's cleared away by St. Louis City. A throw in for RSL will be the result of that. Bodie Hidalgo, another one of these homegrown products for Real Salt Lake, has it now. Consecutive throws now for RSL.
Yeah.
Hidalgo gives it up to Barea. Ojeda tried to keep it on that touch line and just could not. It will be a St. Louis City throw in. Both very alike in terms of their approach to the homegrown talent system and really the respect given to their respective MLS Next Pro programs as well, especially for this RSL team who Rail Monarchs will represent the RSL organization in the U.S. Open Cup. As this lifted up ahead, RSL pleading for a foul, and official says play on as it's rolled back to Berkey. Katrenis quickly with a throw. Anelli looking, surveying, finding Diogo. Diogo trying to knife through defenders. Headed back on by Real Salt Lake. A look back at what RSL thought was a penalty. It was Joachim Nielsen muscling his way in. Indiana Vasilev was down for just a moment for St. Louis City. But Joachim Nielsen able to muscle his way in and knock Diogo off the ball on that recent replay we just showed you. Play back underway off the RSL foul. Hebert. It's still Hebert now for St. Louis City. Hebert will carry it into the corner, and it will be a throw in for St. Louis City. our center referee having a quick chat with Ketranis. Meanwhile, Hebert will throw it in on this near side for St. Louis. Watts tries to work it back on. This is Nilsson. Overlapping run from Nilsson. Back to him from Valum. And it will be another St. Louis City corner, their third of this first half, as now we've gone across the half-hour mark played and into the 33rd minute. This lifted back post wide of goal. Akil Watts has been active so far for St. Louis City. The definite standout so far. Made a couple good runs, had some good looks at goal, also had that one brief spell earlier in this first half, the defensive interception turning it into an offensive opportunity as Ketranis will roll this back. Staduhar, pressure collapsing in on him. It's Klaus, intercepted by Vasilev. An opportunity now as Silly tries his hand and can't get a shot off. Anelli able to fight off a challenge. Quickly worked ahead, looking for Barea on the outside. And first to it instead was Josh Yarrow for St. Louis. Both these teams finding their footing now. Action starting to pick up as Barea had his pocket picked. Yarrow looking to clear the danger away. Diogo with the interception now. Hidalgo works it to the outside. Laid off back to Diogo. It's Diogo. His shot won't make it through. Cleared away by Yarrow. And headed back on by Glad. Ojeda gives it up to Brook now. Brook tried to thread that pass through, intercepted by Akil Watts. A strong challenge there from Brian Ojeda, and that will result in a St. Louis City free kick. Here's Valum doubling back. No options going on that outside, and now a quick whistle. Bodie Hidalgo and Conrad Valum mixing it up just a bit, having some words with each other, and the center referee quick to break that up. To Vasilev on the near touchline. But a shake free initially of Diogo. And now Vasilev goes down, and that will be another free kick for St. Louis. Throughout this first half, RSL have been the better team in possession than St. Louis, but St. Louis City has found ways, whether it's off set pieces or their 3 first half corners, to generate opportunities in their own right as Watts gets play underway. That lifted into a crowd and cleared away as Klaus picks up the pieces. Valum cuts to the inside. Still Valum here, gets a shot off. It's off the bar and headed in. Conrad Valum and St. Louis City on the board. The deadlock broken in the 37th minute. 1-0 City SC. Look at it again as Vollum picked up that loose ball off the pass from Klaus. Just put a shot. Little flick in on goal. It goes deflecting off the woodwork, and Mason Staduhar struggled with it. RSL tried to recover and clear it away, and not in time. St. Louis City on the board first here in our opening match of this Coachella Valley Invitational. Joachim Nielsen tries to head it on, and Nielsen, a collision on that aerial duel. He's down and slow to get up. That will bring a stoppage to this match. Play back underway off the stoppage. It's Anelli with it for RSL. Anelli, stretch pass forward. City SC all over it. Headed it away from danger. Now Vasilev turning away from that pressure. The giveaway though. Counter-attack here for Lachlan Brook. And RSL shot will just roll wide of that far post, or I should say that near post. Coming up on these final 5 minutes of this opening half between RSL and St. Louis. RSL had been the better team to controlling that possession, had the early opportunity on goal, but St. Louis has done a good job of settling in and withstanding that early onslaught of possession from RSL. Real Salt Lake will have the throw in on that far touchline. City SC's efforts rewarded with that goal just minutes ago. Justin Glad thought about the quick throw in. Intercepted by Yarrow and rolled back to Roman Berkey. Off a deflection, Vollum picks it up. Now Vasilev will work it to the outside. It's Yarrow. St. Louis City will have a throw on the far side. During this preseason, St. Louis City, 1 win, 1 loss. They do have 2 more matches after this coming up at this Coachella Valley Invitational. They'll face Austin FC and NYC FC, just like St. Louis City, under the direction of a new head coach, as is Austin FC as well. A lot of newness for some of these teams. The MLS coaching carousel was moving fast and furiously this offseason as Indiana Vasilev will pull that ball in. Directing traffic is Vasilev. Back to Yarrow he goes. St. Louis City SC, speaking of that coaching carousel, one of 12 MLS teams to make a change at the head coaching position this offseason. Betcher tries to cut to the inside, and that will win a free kick late in this half from somewhat of an inviting position here for St. Louis City. Watts has been the set piece taker this half, but Vasilev will take it, curls it toward goal, and skies that over the crossbar. A goal kick coming for RSL. Looking for Diogo through the middle. First to it was Yarrow again for St. Louis City. Hidalgo, no options ahead, rolls it back to Staduhar. Now Barea wins a free kick for RSL. Does Jesus Barea, and we have our first booking of this match. Barea's path impeded, so much so that has to take a seat real quick and readjust the cleat. Jesus Barea, one of those players, a new face for RSL, drafted by Real Salt Lake in this most recent MLS Super Draft. A talented college crop of players, St. Louis City SC, one of those guys from that MLS Super Draft that they brought in this offseason. Emil Jääskeläinen, 22 goals at the collegiate level for the Akron Zips. Michael Seabolt, the Missouri State head coach, firmly believes that Barea in that conversation is most talented draft picks, but that is how the first half comes to a close at the Coachella Valley. A late goal from St. Louis City SC breaks the deadlock. And the team from the Gateway to the West takes a 1-0 lead half. It's 1-0 St. Louis. We'll head to break and return.
¿Cómo? ¿Al agua? Ok. Vale, está bien fresco hoy, ¿no?
Back in Indio, California, St. Louis City SC leads it 1-0 over RSL. It was a late goal for City SC thanks to Conrad Vollum late in that first half. City SC with 3 corners. RSL dominating the possession in the early goings, but it was City finding a way to break the deadlock, and they take that 1-0 lead into the halftime break. We'll head back to break and return for more from the halftime report in Indio, California. St. Louis City SC leads Real Salt Lake 1-0 through 45 minutes of play here at the 2025 Coachella Valley Invitational. But this is not the only match of the day. A jam-packed day one here in Indio, California. Kicking off in just about 8 minutes' time, LA Galaxy, the reigning MLS Cup champions, will take on Austin FC. Under the direction of new leadership is Austin FC. Then at 12:30 p.m. Pacific time, Portland Timbers, San Jose Earthquakes, Bruce Arena taking over the reins of San Jose, the MLS's winningest head coach of all time. His 5th stop in the MLS. They'll go against Phil Neville and the Portland Timbers. And then at 1:30 p.m. Pacific time, Chicago Fire and LAFC before the day closes with a 3 p.m. Pacific time clash between NYC FC and Sporting Kansas City. Another team from the Show Me State looking to get back on the right side of that playoff cut line compared to a season ago is Sporting Kansas City. Of course, as we mentioned during the first half, 12 coaching changes made around the MLS during this offseason, one of those being NYC FC. They will debut with a new look, will NYC FC. A jam-packed day one of the Coachella Valley Invitational. As mentioned, the reigning MLS Cup champions coming up next in just about 6 minutes' time between them and Austin FC. That's LA Galaxy, Austin FC on Field 2, just behind us here at Field 1, where St. Louis City SC and Real Salt Lake are playing. Some questions for LA Galaxy with players transitioning out of the club. Obviously, Ricky Puig, one of the biggest stars in the league, still out rehabbing that ACL injury. And it'll be interesting to see how some of their new pieces fit in to this identity for LA Galaxy. But as for this one, St. Louis City SC on top 1-0 through 45. We'll head back to break and return for a breakdown of our first half action here in Indio.
I almost haven't, it's cold up there. It's nice that you're able to approach and see all these views.
I was just
I worked there. As a matter of fact, I did work here. A buddy of mine had a box. He worked for Waste Management. I don't know what it's called.
Oh, the Waste Management.
Yeah. And so he had a big one. So we were on the 17th. 17th hole?
Yeah.
Let me think.
So this whole perfect though, yeah. Beautiful.
No, I'm good. Good. Appreciate it. Thank you, man. So, no, we were at the 17th. Right there. Part 3? Yeah, part 3 is so fucking cool. I go, oh my god. It's just funny how last year when the amateur won the whole thing, that was sweet. I love seeing guys like that. Well, that 17 is a bit for some folks.
Yeah.
Even the pros.
It's a fun first day.
Oh yeah, it's really nice. Very nice.
It's always like 75.
Yep. So
Sometimes you have to go to the East Coast. It's cold. Like it'll be like raining and stuff. Just like put in the
are you gonna get when's Tiger coming back? He's coming back soon, right? Yeah, he's gonna come back. Have you been watching this new course, indoor course? You've been worried. You ever seen the tournament on ESPN? There's fucking party of 3 guys. The last time it was Tiger and another player. Well, yeah, it's all animated. They got the big screens to hit into. There's some grass, there's some sand. But you need to turn it on, brother. I'll look it up and I'll get you the information.
Yeah,
it's
for
on
sure.
ESPN.
I'll check that out, boss.
All right, bro.
California, almost time for the start of half number 2 between Real Salt Lake and St. Louis City SC, who finds themselves on top 1-0 through 45 minutes of play. A chance to look at how that first half really broke down as we get set for half number 2. St. Louis City finding the goal late in that first half, right around the 38th or 39th minute. We'll take a look at highlights later on in this broadcast as we are back underway for the start of half number 2. Quickly racing up ahead with it is RSL. It's Marchuk cutting to the inside. Will lay this off to Hidalgo, and that goes sailing high. Changes made at the half for St. Louis City SC. One of their newcomers, Timo Bumgartel, comes in for Joachim Nielsen. Zielinski in for Hebert. Simon Betcher will exit, the rookie draft pick out of Akron, aforementioned during that first half. Emil Jääskeläinen comes in. Makai Joyner also comes in for Conrad Wallum. An interception here for RSL, worked back ahead to Marchuk. Laid off to Anelli. Emeka Anelli was all over the pitch for RSL. This shot on goal and parried away. That's one way to rip out of the halftime break if you're Real Salt Lake. Looking to put this contest on level terms, and very nearly doing so. A full stretch save made by the St. Louis keeper. It will be RSL's second corner of this match. Outswinging ball, headed away, a short header by St. Louis, but now a more decisive clearance here for City SC as Anelli will give chase. Makai Joyner was applying the pressure on Anelli, who had to quickly get rid of that. Makai Joyner, a name that has really popped up in MLS circles really his entire career, but especially lately. Matt Doyle, MLS.com, identifying him as a player he expects to take a leap in 2025 from the Western Conference. Still second on the depth chart at that position behind Conrad Wallum, the newcomer there on the left. Joyner is just 18 years old and is coming off quite an impressive MLS Next Pro season. As we mentioned earlier in this broadcast, both of these teams have fantastic MLS Next Pro systems. Joyner for St. Louis City, too. 20 goal contribution, 16 goals in his own right last year. As here comes RSL, rolled through the middle, and it's cleared away by St. Louis City. One back by City SC. Here's Klaus, flanked with options around. Rolled up ahead to Zielinski. Zielinski knifing inside, getting past that second defender, is tripped up at the last moment, and that will earn a free kick for St. Louis City. St. Louis City SC withstanding a quick onslaught of offense and possession from RSL right at the beginning of this second half, but once again, City turning on a counter and winning themselves a free kick. Over top of it is Akil Watts. Watts to the back post. That sails over the head of Joyner. but Klaus is there. Left off for Vasilev. Vasilev elevates. Got a little too much underneath that as it sails behind the goal and out. Here's Lachlan Brook. Stops, surveys. He'll switch things to the outside. Giving up to Glad now. Laid off to Vera. Vera works this ahead to Barea. Barea fighting through challenges. Down goes Barea. No whistle. Referee says play on. Giving up to Ojeda, who leaves it off for Emeka Anelli. Slipped through. It's Brook from Diogo. Wanted Barea, who was just a step behind that ball, and that's enough for Zielinski to clear it away. Another foul given off a strong challenge from Real Salt Lake. St. Louis City will get things back underway with the free kick. Worked up ahead to Vasilev. Ojeda draped all over him. Pressure, I should say, collapsing in here on this City SC back line. This worked over to Ben Lunt, a goalkeeper change made by St. Louis City SC at the half as Anelli wins it back again. It's Anelli whose shot is blocked. Headed toward the end line by City SC, and that will concede a corner to RSL, their third, as the Claret and Cobalt will charge forward for this set piece. They short the corner. From distance, shot pushed aside by Lunt again. Two highlight reel saves to start this second half for Ben Lunt, the former Phoenix Rising netminder. Again, a corner conceded, however. Real Salt Lake starting to assert themselves here on this end of things. Catranis will take this. Wind has picked up here in Indio. Outswinging ball. Headed toward that far post as Barea will pick up the pieces for RSL. Cross takes a deflection. Marchik steps to the inside. Flanked by Catranis. What a sliding challenge. Flying in was Cam Silly. Able to disrupt that attack. It does concede the corner, however. RSL starting to pile these corners up to 5. 4 in this half alone. Catranis swings this one outward. Ojeda underneath it. It was nudged across the end line by a City SC defender. And it's now consecutive corners again for RSL. St. Louis back on their heels defending as RSL stacks these set-piece opportunities. And now some pushing and shoving inside the 18. Zielinski goes down. And the center referee says he's seen enough. This ball whipped to the top of the penalty area. It's Anelli. Anelli's cross cut out. Quickly up ahead, back to Anelli. Klaus wins that ball back, at least for a moment, for City SC. Goes skipping back to the possession of Bodie Hidalgo, and now worked out wide to Lachlan Brook on this near touchline. City SC prep to make 2 changes here in this second half. Meanwhile, it's Ojeda for RSL. Whips this inside. Silly whiffs on a header away. Now Joyner does get ahead to it for St. Louis City. Lachlan Brook into the middle. It's Barea. Left that pass flat. Vasilev with the interception. One back, though, by Ojeda. Diogo carries it to the end line. Cross blocked out by Joyner, I should say. And the 6th corner of the second half coming for RSL. St. Louis will make their changes as Klaus will come off, as does Akil Watts. Akil Watts especially turning in quite an impressive shift on the pitch throughout the entirety of that first half, and then some here in this second. It's Diogo over top of it for RSL as they short the corner again to Catranis. Give and go, back to Diogo. St. Louis all over it. Now cleared ahead, here's Joyner. Joyner, hey, we're gonna get past Marchik. And now green space in front of Makai Joyner. A good recovery by Ojeda. Able to block that pass out. It is a St. Louis City SC throw. Changes made for St. Louis City SC. Cilio Pompeu in for Klaus. Tomas Ostrak comes in for Vasilev. And Perez comes on for Watts, rounding out the trifecta of changes made by Olaf Melberg and company on that City SC touchline. Catranis was down over on that far touchline. Quick rub of the ankle, and we're back underway. Worked up ahead to Marchik. Rolls this through, looking for Bodie Hidalgo. That will be another RSL set piece. This time a free kick instead of a corner. It seems like this second half has all been RSL corners, 7 alone in this second 45 already. And we're just now 15 minutes deep into this second half. But RSL has done a solid job in this match of generating these set-piece opportunities. The question is, can they capitalize on one? This from a sharp angle. Rolled toward goal and stopped by Lunt. City will have the throw in on that far touch line. Looking up ahead for Zielinski, who's taken down to the pitch again, and that will be a free kick given to St. Louis City SC. Work back to Lunt. Lunt will stretch the pitch up ahead, trying to find Jääskeläinen with that clearance. Falls to Cam Silly and hacked away for an RSL clear. Up ahead, Jääskeläinen goes down. Advantage played by the official as Joyner has it out wide. Rolls this one through. Shot toward goal and stopped again. Possession lives here for City SC. They carry it to the end line and just running out of room, resulting in a goal kick, but not before Silio Pompeu puts a beautiful shot on goal, stopped by the RSL keeper, nearly doubling the St. Louis advantage. Pompeu, as confirmed by Olaf Melberg earlier in the week, still working to get back to 100% full fitness, but seeing minutes here, valuable minutes at that in this Coachella Valley Invitational. A whistle and a foul as Anelli goes down. Pompeu, former VCU Ram at the collegiate level, played for the legendary Dave Gifford there at VCU. Emeka Anelli slow to get up for RSL and now is back to his feet. Defender goes to ground as Anelli tried to get past him, and that will be a free kick given as Anelli down in a heap. Play back underway as Ojeda gives it up. This lifted back inside, cleared away by Yarrow. It falls to Marchuk. Marchuk, the cross, deflects high and drops into the gloves of Ben Lunt. Joyner now. In the middle, finds Jääskeläinen. Had it for a moment, and then it was cleared away. Here's Cam Silly, good recovery. Worked back ahead to Emil Jääskeläinen, the rookie out of Akron. Jääskeläinen, the finalist for the Mac Herman Trophy Award this season. Had a chance to catch up with his former college coach, Jared Imbick, earlier in the week, who said he hit 22 goals at the college level. He hit the post about 8 times. Probably could have had 30. Imbick said he wasn't sure he's ever seen a player at that level with the kind of nose for goal that Emil Jääskeläinen has. And, of course, the St. Louis City club very high on what he could potentially do for them in a St. Louis shirt one day. Meanwhile, here's RSL. Still looking to claw their way back into this one. They've controlled the possession here for large stretches in this second half, and here they come again. Back through the middle. It's the rookie Barea who misses wide. Ben Lunt got a piece to it to palm it aside. It will be another corner for RSL. The trend continuing in this second half, up to 8 corners for the Claret and Cobalt. Katranis takes this near flag. Sails that one out swinging wide. Hidalgo will catch up to it. Hidalgo hounded by Zielinski on the touchline. Now they're doubling up Hidalgo as Joyner comes over to help. And that pays dividends. Forces a throw in, wins a throw at that for St. Louis City. Ostrak flicks that away from danger. RSL will recover. It's Hidalgo. Up ahead, that finds Katranis off the volley. Fires it wide. It does deflect off a City SC defender. And in keeping with the theme of this second half, RSL Shirts will charge forward for yet another corner. They short the corner again. Now tucked back to the end line. Lifted in the thick of it, headed away. Struck off the volley by Barea and blocked out. Thumped out of play by St. Louis City SC just for a moment, trying to take some of this RSL pressure off of things. Back comes Real Salt Lake. Dancing back to the outside, it's Marchik. Tries to peel it back, and Joyner takes Marchik down. That will be another free kick. Again, from a sharp angle here for RSL. This is the second or third set piece they've had from down near tight on this end line as Diogo gets play back underway. In the thick of it again, ball bouncing around, and Joyner will just thump it clear smartly. Ostrak battling in there against Bodie Hidalgo, tries to go to ground. Hidalgo follows him, and that will be a whistle against Tomas Ostrak. The free kick quickly taken by RSL. Slow approach for Justin Glad and Real Salt Lake as Glad gets it back from Hidalgo and gives it up again. City SC will have the throw on that far touchline. Into the 70th minute now. They still hold on to that narrow 1-0 lead that they found off the foot of Conrad Valum late in that first half. But here comes RSL turning on a counter. Good recovery by the St. Louis defense. Joyner surveys his options, none going forward. Pressure collapsing a bit in on Josh Yarrow. St. Louis now struggling to clear the lines here and forced into an errant cross out of play. Throw in quickly taken by RSL. Back on possession is Real Salt Lake. Back up ahead to Marchik. Slips it past Joyner and tucks it inside. Given back to Marchik. His cross cut out by Yarrow. Flicked away by Tomas Ostrak. Ostrak back on it this time in the middle. The shot goes in over the hands of Ben Lunt, and RSL have put things on level terms in this second half. Off a quick interception, turning on a quick counter, and RSL have leveled this match up. Marchik eyes up, connecting in the middle with Lachlan Brook, who does the rest. And putting RSL on the board in this 71st minute. Back underway, St. Louis City SC 1, Real Salt Lake 1 in this second half. Cleared out by City SC, again, like what we saw that ultimately led to the buildup that eventually resulted in a goal for RSL. Here's an opportunity for Real Salt Lake. Hidalgo tries to carry it past Tomas Ostrak, and Hidalgo goes back down to the pitch. That will be another free kick. Work to the outside for RSL. Ojeda in the middle. Back to Anelli. Gives it up. RSL connecting passes in this dangerous area, and St. Louis does recover defensively to clear it away. Back up ahead is Marchik, leading the charge for RSL in this second half. Marchik's shot sails over the bar and out. Dominik Marchik, the 21-year-old out of Poland, as mentioned in that first half in December, after spending time with the U21 Polish national team, called up to the senior team. Scored a goal in December against the Swiss national team, and he has impressed in this second half, really leading this RSL charge all half long. He's taken up residence on this near side of the pitch. Had a hand in the goal that put RSL back on even footing, and just minutes ago, very nearly found a goal of his own. A goal goal and an assist last season for the 5'10 midfielder in 10 appearances. Like we talked about at the top of this broadcast, as pressure starting to collapse here on RSL now, when you're a Real Salt Lake team that loses a player like a Chicho Arango or a Matt Crooks, you're going to have to find goals by committee as Marchuk crashing in, gets a shot off that's stopped by Ben Lunt. Of course, when you talk to people with this RSL organization, they say internally that things are really setting up for this to become Diego Luna's team. And I'm sure many people watching this contest are wondering, oh, hey, where is Diego Luna? He is here at Coachella. That was confirmed, still continuing to work his way back from that broken nose suffered during his most recent spell with the United States men's national team. He's essentially having to relearn how to breathe through that mask. It's really affected him. That picture of the broken nose going viral, obviously just the tenacity of Diego Luna to still battle through that and continue playing. He is obviously going to be the focal point of this RSL team as that worked ahead. Keeper comes off his line, and that forces Brian Vera into action to help clear things away. It does go across the end line and out for a goal kick. And now changes will be made by Real Salt Lake. As these teams do during these preseason tune-ups like this, a chance to empty the bench, get other players looks on the field, try different guys out at different positions. As we carry into the late stages of this opening match of the Coachella Valley Invitational, RSL choosing to do exactly that. It's Pablo Ruiz. Worked up ahead to Caliscan. To the outside this goes. It's Xavier Gozo. Gozo's cross cut out into the hands of Ben Lunt. Pressure collapsing again on Yarrow. Worked up ahead to Joyner, who does get past Javian Brown. Now Joyner taken down. Advantage played as it's worked up ahead to Pompeu. On the outside is Celiu Pompeu. It will be a St. Louis throw in. Pablo Ruiz, a name already called as he has come out onto the pitch for his final 12-ish minutes of this opening contest, trying to work it back to Joyner. And such a fascinating story as Pablo Ruiz getting limited minutes here in this Coachella Valley as he continues to reintegrate back into this group due to injuries suffered. Watching how Ruiz has continued to keep at it and battle back from said injuries and find his way back out onto the pitch has been impressive to watch, as RSL will have a throw in on this near touchline. And there is Ruiz. lifted up ahead. Trying to jumpstart an attack again for Real Salt Lake. That's out of the reach, and across the end line it goes. And it will be a Ben Lunt goal kick for St. Louis City SC. As mentioned, this RSL organization really values the homegrown prospect, and of course their MLS Next Pro program, which, as we said, will compete in the U.S. Open Cup and represent this organization. But RSL themselves, the senior team, loading up for a big year. They will return to the CONCACAF Champions Cup this season for the first time since 2016. Opening round will take place February 19th as Pompeu goes down and wins a free kick for St. Louis City. Yarrow rolls it back to Lunt. That's cleared forward and headed back on by RSL. Flag comes up for the far assistant referee, offside. Looking to stretch the pitch again, this up ahead in the vicinity of Gozo. Can't get to it in time. One player we have not seen on the pitch today that this RSL coaching staff is extremely high on is Forrester Iago. Had a goal in RSL's preseason friendly, the 1-1 draw against Minnesota United FC, an impressive goal at that. Iago not in the squad today as he continues to get visa things lined out, as does Ariath Peel, the Australian who joined the club on a free transfer back on January 26th. Those two players not in the squad, continuing to line out their visas as Ruiz has a hit from distance, and that goes over the bar. Iago especially, though, a player that comes in from Nashville SC, 15 appearances, 2 goals. Yes, a small serving size of work there, but you look at what he's done with Nashville SC in that tiny sampling, also some of the ability put on tape during his days at Duke, and he is an impressive younger player out of Ghana. A whistle and a foul given. St. Louis City will have a free kick. It's Celiu Pompeo over it. Pompeu lofts that into a crowd. Flicked away from danger by and cleared out for a St. Louis City throw. Given back up to Joyner, who can't maintain the possession. Change of possession will occur via the throw-in. Into the 84th minute now. And this is an area of the match that St. Louis City SC will hope to improve upon this year under their new head coach, Olaf Melberg. St. Louis City dropped 5 total points last season after the 75th minute, gained just 2 as a team. As that rolls to the end line across it, that put them at 23rd out of 29 MLS teams a season ago in terms of points gained past the 75th minute. A corner one for RSL. Ninth corner of the second half for Real Salt Lake. This ball goes in swinging, headed on goal, and headed high. Kobe Henry put that one toward goal, but not on it. Kobe Henry, another one of those players that people have their eye on, including the aforementioned Matt Doyle for MLS.com. He is a player that Matt Doyle says could be expected to take a jump coming up in 25. Kobe Henry, just 20 years old. Joyner first to it for St. Louis City off that cross. Tries to roll it ahead, looking for Celiu Pompeu. Couldn't catch up to it in time. And now Kobe Henry has it for RSL. Center referee sounds the whistle. A free kick given again to RSL, and Kobe Henry will take it for Real Salt Lake. Here comes RSL again, probing. That pass cut out. One back, though, by Real Salt Lake. Ruiz rolls it ahead. Cross to the near post. Gozo back in the thick of it, but he's offside, and that will wash out the opportunity. With that CONCACAF Champions Cup coming up for Real Salt Lake on the 19th of February, that opening round when it'll start, they're hoping they can replicate their success from the 2011 season and perhaps then some. 2011 RSL finishing as CONCACAF Champions Cup runners-up that year. The RO picks up the pieces for City SC. Jashkalainen in the middle. He's taken down, and that will be a free kick for St. Louis. Henry meets it with the head, and now headed on by Real Salt Lake. Inside the final 3 minutes as that goes sailing across the touchline for an RSL throw. Lifted up ahead, Gozo and Joyner in a foot race, tight in that corner, and Gozo wins that foot race. Rolls it across the end line, deflected, cleared off the line by St. Louis. An impressive recovery on what would have been a surefire winner for RSL. Ruiz works it back on. It's Gozo again on the flank, peels this back, in the middle, shot is deflected. Finally rolls across the end line, and it will be a Real Salt Lake corner. Ten corners in this second half alone for Real Salt Lake. Seventh most corners accumulated in the league last season. This goes swinging in. Headed away initially by St. Louis. Worked back on here by RSL. But still loose. A hit from distance from Ruiz is deflected. Here's Silva. Had it for a moment. before St. Louis clears it out. Ruiz turns. Now Ruiz lifts it back ahead. It's Silva. Locked in a battle with Zielinski is Silva. Across the touchline it goes. And a late throw for RSL. Worked back up to Kobe Henry, who will steer this back to the keeper. And that will do it. The whistle sounds for full time. Our first match of the 2025 Coachella Valley Invitational in the books. A hard-fought 1-1 draw between St. Louis City SC and Real Salt Lake. We'll head to break and return for the post-match breakdown. Your final between RSL and St. Louis City.